Brynn shared her side of the story with Rolling Stone, and now Ubah is sharing her side of the whole drama on Glamour. I'm Kajal Dashi. I'm a former award-winning TV journalist. Hit the follow button for more Bravo stories. The article jumps right to the point, talking about that explosive finale between Ubah, Brynn, and the entire cast. Ubah has taken the time since filming ended in June to focus on herself. She told Glamour, quote, "I did a lot of work in the summer. I stayed home and meditated, basically just reevaluated a lot of things. And seeing it all over again, she says, has both given her fresh eyes and opened new wounds." And trigger warning before we get into this article, there is a lot of talk about SA, so if that's a topic that makes you uncomfortable, keep scrolling. In this Glamour exclusive, Ubah will address what happened in the finale from her point of view, where she stands with Brynn and more. Ubah says, "It's disheartening when you open yourself up, genuinely caring for others, only to discover that to them you're merely a colleague. When you're being real and they're like, don't take it seriously, this is just a show. I started to realize they aren't always being 100%. I didn't get the memo. I was on all the time." Here's an example. The first time we met, Brynn bought my hot sauce, Ubah Hot. I said, "Why did you buy it? I have 100 of them at home I could bring you." She's like, No, girl. Learn how to receive. I'm trying to support you." Then she calls me and says, "I think I'm going to talk about Ubah Hot on the show, and I'm going to give a bad review so you can get airtime." I said, "Let me tell you something. Do not touch my product. I'm a woman who worked her ass off to be where I am. This product has won awards. Don't you dare." I believe she has been producing since day one. I can confidently say that when I lay my head on the pillow at night, I know I didn't do anyone wrong. I didn't have bad intentions, I didn't gossip, and I didn't cause drama. If someone came to me privately with a concern, which a few of them have many times, I always offer kind, loving advice. But this experience has taught me the value of silence and the strength in walking away. It's painful because I've worked tirelessly to have a voice, and I take immense pride in never leaving things unsaid or unfinished. It's been a difficult yet necessary lesson. Often what viewers have witnessed are the moments when I've been upset and raised my voice in frustration. What they didn't see is the buildup, the complexities and emotions that led to that point. When you're part of a show, the narrative gets distilled into snippets, which leaves out so much context. With 8 individuals on a 45-minute show, it's impossible to capture every layer of the situation. Ultimately, this journey has reminded me that sometimes the most intelligent response is to remain composed, even when I feel that the full story isn't being told. However, viewers did see much of the buildup between Brynn and Ubah on the cast trip in Puerto Rico. Following a tense dinner in which Brynn asks Ubah, "Why are you here?" Ubah replied that she was there because she was hired, before adding that maybe Brynn slept with someone to get this job. Ubah said, "I deeply regret saying maybe you slept with someone to get this job, and I am truly sorry for that. The context was that it felt like Brynn was pushing all of us to perform, especially me. I said that out of frustration. I told her that I got this job because of who I am. I don't have to fake storylines or create drama. Brynn didn't give me this job. She's not a producer, and even the producers don't tell me what to do or say. I regret saying these words, but here's the thing. I would have said them to anyone if they behaved the way she did. It wasn't because Brynn is a sexual being or that I was trying to hurt her heart. I would have said this to any of them if they were pushing me to perform as much as she did. She would accuse us of, quote, taking money out of her purse because we weren't meeting her standards, and I got tired of it. It was a heated moment that came after months of pressure to be something I'm not. From the start, it felt like Brynn had it out for me. She'd make little jabs, wrapped in just enough kindness to seem harmless, that would pile on. It felt like she was determined to create a false narrative about me. Looking back, I see the pattern. She pushed me until I reacted, then later came to me in tears saying how much she loves me, how kind I am, and how much the show needs me. Sometimes Aaron and I go back and forth too, but we'll sit down and talk to each other or send a message and apologize. But with Brynn, after we fight, it's almost like she thinks we did good. Later that day, things went further downhill when Aaron and Brynn put Aaron's husband Abe on speakerphone as a joke. Ubah said, "At lunch, I was shocked to learn Aaron showed a nude photo of her husband. Raquel, Sai, and Jessel all didn't think it was appropriate, but Aaron seemed more upset by my reaction than anyone else's. I get that it might be a cultural thing because to me it felt like a bigger deal than she did." Later that evening, I stepped outside when we were going to do our synchronized swimming, and I saw that Abe was on speakerphone without realizing it. I felt bad for him and told him. Erin got upset, she called me disgusting, and asked if I cared more about her husband than her. Then she admitted to me she'd texted Abe before calling him. I asked, if it isn't a big deal, why warn him? Erin kept on, so I splashed water on her, telling her to stop pretending to be upset over a planned phone call. It was exhausting. Looking back, I shouldn't have cared so much. I should have just walked away. She's right. It's her marriage and her phone call. Lesson learned. Later, I joined the girls in the hot tub and sat next to Erin, trying to put everything behind us. That's when Brynn said I shouldn't get involved in other people's marriages. I told her to go take a nap, and she responded, should I suck a D while I take a nap? In that argument, we both said stupid things. I'm not proud of either of us. She said that I fly commercial while she flies private, and I wish I pointed out that flying commercial is actually safer. There are more regulations, but I didn't take the high road. I went back to my room, and eventually Erin and Sai came in and urged me to apologize. I agreed, but as soon as I stepped outside, I saw Jenna. Her face looked like she'd just gotten tragic news. I wanted to ask what was wrong, but Sai urged me to focus on Brynn. At first, Brynn didn't want to come outside with me, but I begged her to. She did finally come out to hear my apology, but looking back, I think she had no intention of accepting it. As soon as I spoke, it was clear she wanted me to change my words so I would apologize the way she wanted. I told her I would only apologize for what I said. I'm not going to apologize for something I didn't say. Now that I've watched the show, I believe she didn't want my apology. She had already told the girls about her essay and claimed I knew about it. It suited her story to paint me as the villain. Now we get to the part where cameras go down and we see the chaos ensue in the finale. Ubah said, when Jessel came to my room, I thought she just wanted to recap our day like we usually do, laughing and chatting. When she told me that Brynn had opened up about being essayed, I was shocked. I said, that's so awful. Jessel looked at me in surprise and asked, wait, you don't know? I responded, why would I know this? Her face immediately changed to panic and confusion. Then she told me that Brynn had told the girls this and it was on camera. Before Jessel could finish, I rushed out of the room, found Brynn in the hallway and demanded, tell me, when did you tell me this? When did we have this conversation? Brynn said nothing. She just stared at me with a cold, blank look. I kept asking her, but she stayed silent. I went back in my brain like a computer just to cover everything. That was never discussed. Then I went to Jenna and Raquel to tell them this wasn't true. When I returned to the hallway, I was overwhelmed with anger, cursing out Brynn and still demanding answers. As she remained silent, I started questioning reality. I thought, is this really happening? I couldn't breathe. I never wanted anyone to experience what I've experienced, trying to defend my character in the middle of such chaos. I went to my room shaking and I started vomiting. I was in total distress. Thank God for Rebecca Minkoff. She was so helpful to me. She took my hand, pointed at objects in the room and started naming them. This is the light. This is the wall. This is the chair. It helped ground me. I don't think I would have made it through without her and Jessel. Ubah and Jessel left to stay at a hotel and the rest of the group stayed up and talked. During the conversation, which happened off camera, Sai asked Brynn if she was sure Ubah knew about the essay. Brynn replied, maybe she didn't clock it. Ubah said at the hotel we spoke to Erin and Sai. They said they were locked in Sai's room and were like, what happened? Erin was like, you have no idea. I'm sleeping with Sai, I said, in that tiny little bed. So Jessel and I texted production to say that Sai and Erin decided to stay in the same room after what transpired. Production needed to know, and then we got a text back from Sai saying, everything's good, security is here. Now, aside from filming the opening credits, the only time Brynn and Ubah have seen each other is at the reunion, which we're now watching. A lot of people think I went into the season angry at Brynn because she exposed my boyfriend during last season's finale. The truth is, I'm grateful she did that because that's when I realized who she was. It wasn't that she spoke about my boyfriend. He was going to come up anyways. It opened my eyes to see her throw Sai under the bus that way when Sai had built a genuine friendship with her. That day, filming last season's finale, I made a decision that I will not hang out with Brynn one-on-one ever again. Despite that, I didn't approach the season with negativity. The snake you know is better than the one you don't. This whole experience has been tough but valuable. It taught me that forgiveness and self-protection can coexist. When I said I wished I could go back to before I knew Brynn, it wasn't out of malice. It was out of love and respect for myself. I've spent years protecting the little girl inside me, and rebuilding this friendship would feel like a betrayal. She added, I deeply appreciate Bravo for breaking the fourth wall, allowing more of the truth to shine through. I mean, after reading this and reading Brynn's interview with Rolling Stone and seeing everything play out from that finale into part of this reunion, I believe Ubah. This is coming from someone who was a major Brynn fan after her first season. What do you guys think? What did you guys think about Ubah's interview with Glamour? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.